Our next session is talking to some amazing rappers about their work and writing for rap. So let me first introduce our panel, all two of you. We have on your left, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Patrick Mau from Maupower.
Maupower, yep.
And on your left, Mr. Tjimba Possum-Burns. I can do a little bit of read the blurb, I will, for Tjimba, who is one of members of the Young Warriors, and they are known for being Australia's hottest Indigenous hip-hop group. And I reckon they are. They're also known for being Australia's leading Indigenous and cultural music ambassadors. They produce shows, workshops for their communities, perform their original style of hip-hop in mainstream clubs and festivals, and have supported international acts such as Akon, 50 Cent, the Game and Outlawz, woohoo. And Patrick, can I ask you to tell us a little bit more about yourself by way of introduction?
Before I start, I'd like to show respect and acknowledge the traditional custodians of this land. And as for having me here, I want to thank also the Melbourne Festival for inviting me down. My name is Patrick Mau. I come from the Torres Straits, the Zenat-Kes Nation. I'm from the Daibao clan, up in the Kalau-Kalawaya language group, which is the top western region of the Torres Straits. My bloodline runs down through the Maluigal Nation. And yes, I'm just a hip-hop performer down here and enjoying Melbourne City.
Oh, and welcome too. And Tjimba, welcome as well. Okay, so what is this thing called rap? And why do you need to express yourself this way?
Okay, first of all, rap, it's one part of this culture that's called hip-hop. I'll take you back to the history of where hip-hop began. 1971, the Bronx, New York City. You know, DJ Kool Herc came out with 2 turntables and cut up all these funk, soul, break music, and that's how hip-hop was born. Now, the reason this culture was born was because back in those times, it was a struggle for people to actually be accepted in society, and there was so much violence going on, so much anger towards each other in their own neighborhood, that they created this culture with 4 elements, which is rapping, DJing, graffiti, and dancing, breakdancing, to positively express themselves, take this anger and frustration and create a art to make something positive, you know, instead of fighting with each other. So that's where the rapping element comes in. And that's why it was so important to express themselves, because there was no opportunity to have that, you know, to express themselves. No one had a voice back then. Jimbo, you want to add on that?
Yeah, no, well, you just put it all down, cuz. Yeah, no, and, you know, to have our culture and in the hip-hop scene, and, you know, to be a part of Indigenous hip-hop is, you know, it's a big thing, and what we're doing, you know, we're just bringing the positive in and taking the negative out, so, yeah.
And let's go the next step too, of course, is that, yeah, that's what happened in America. Why?
Well, I'll speak for me. Now, when I was young, I was about 8 or 9. This awesome new culture came through the Torres Straits called hip-hop. I seen older brothers pulling out cardboard boxes and spinning on their heads. I'm like, oh man, that is awesome. I want to do that. Well, unfortunately, I couldn't spin on my head, break my neck like that. But there were brothers on the side doing this thing called the beatbox, and guys doing this little thing called rhyming and rapping. I fell in love with it. It was just a cool thing to do and express ourselves, you know, every afternoon. Someone would do the beatbox, come out with their little raps, you know, and that's how it came through. That's how I fell in love with it. Now, when hip-hop came up to the Straits, I started rapping at a young age. Doing these raps, it gave me, an exciting thing to do. It was like, I can't explain it, it was like a freedom flow thing, you know. When I'm with my brothers, I could express myself, you know, without sitting there and, you know, being judged. Everybody was all equal in that level. So that's how I got attached to hip hop. That was the beginning for me.
So you weren't emulating; you were making up your own words and rhymes.
Of course, we were listening to the, you know, the Public Enemies, you know, who else? KRS-Ones, they were coming through, all the ballers had those beats, but we were making our own little rhymes up, you know, because English is our third language, little broken English in there, so yeah, that's how we were doing. It was just fun, all fun then.
Is there an association between the beatbox and traditional music? Beat.
I think one of my brothers up in Brisbane said it, Fred Leone from the Impossible Odds, we were discussing the same thing, and he said, well, if you look at our culture, my culture from a Torres Strait Islander point of view, my culture is song and dance. We record our time, our events, our history, our language, our culture through singing and dancing. My ates and akas, which is my grandparents, my ancestors, when they did the smallest thing, cook, they sing. When they clean, they sing. Even putting us to sleep, they sing. When we stand up there and we celebrate, we dance. That's what hip-hop was. The art form was able to capture, record events and certain points in time that kept it going for, 30 plus years right now. And that's why I think it was it attached on to the indigenous people, because we could relate to it so closely. So that's my point of view, and Tjimba, I'd like to hear yours.
Yeah, well, when I first heard hip-hop in Melbourne, my first show I ever went to was a TZU, and that was I never knew Australia was doing hip-hop, and the first show was that I went to Carlton at just on the corner of Carlton down there. You guys would know the pub. I know Johnny would know the pub there. Yeah, it was my first ever hip-hop show that I'd been to, and it was a live band with MC Joel Listic, which is a good friend of mine, and he sort of mentored me after that. I was 15, and I was cool with these fellas, so I could get into the pub and get up and do a freestyle with them, and that was the first time I ever seen hip-hop in Australia, so that hit me, because like Paddy said, growing up with Run DMC and all those hip-hop stars back in the days, and seeing the struggle that they were talking about, and what they write about in their raps. First thing I was thinking is, imagine what I could write about, or imagine what I could put with my culture, with the hip-hop culture. And from there it was just freestyling all the time, because the worst thing with me was I didn't know how to read or write, so I think music helped me to read and write, so yeah, from there just took off.
And of course, Tjimba, you come from Aboriginal musical royalty. You were born into a musical family and have that tradition behind you. And how do you go from that to becoming a hip-hop artist?
Yeah, well, my father is a big influence in the music. He's taught me everything that I know. My mother also is an artist. So yeah, I look up to both of them. And Dad and Uncle Bart and Uncle Bun and all those fellas. So I look at them as father figures as well, because they sort of grew me up. And Kumanjay Rumble and all that, we're a Warumpi band and all that. So I was always around there, that scene with Yothi Indi, and I didn't find music until I found hip hop, and I think now I'm starting to realise that I'm a big part of music, and what I do with music is just to take it to the next level, and to have my little brothers and sisters doing their thing too, and it's just proud, yeah, and. I'm proud of what I'm doing. So, yeah, and I look up to my dad and what he's taught me, and everything that he showed me. So,
but also to find your.
Yeah, and that's where I found myself. Yeah.
How is your career going at the moment, and what do you see in the future, in the near future?
It's going really good, and what I see in the future is just I look at brother boy like Paddy and all the fellows around. Australia, Indigenous hip-hop, Radical Sun, and everybody that's got a part. We're showing the next generation that they can do it as well, and that's all I want to see. I want to see the next generation get up and say, "Hey, I'm not going to be shamed. I'm not going to be shamed," because you got brothers like us, and just showing that the next generation can step up and don't be ashamed, do your thing, and to keep like the other night, me and Paddy and all the fellas, we did a launch for our video, and it was a good turnout. So that's what I want to see, just more of that, and having everybody together and building a musical empire like the mob back in the day started, Warumpi Band. They started that tree, so we're just a branch off that tree. So yeah.
Can we get a bit of an insight into actual collaboration, your writing? How do you come up with those rhymes, those words?
Well, what Paddy said, what we were talking about before, that where we come from, what we talk about where we come from and our experiences. I mean, I got two sides of my culture, which is Arnungal side and my mother's side, and the urban blackfella on my father's side, the Yorta mob, that we'd lost a lot, and I look at that both sides of the fence, and so that's what I write about. I write about what I see and when I go back home from Northern Territory and everything in those remote communities, and all, the negative things to the positive things, and take all that in, and then come back down here, and then it's just another culture shock again,
Yeah.
And it's all about the experience is what I write about. Yeah.
Do you write the words?
Yeah. I write all my words, and D-Boy too. So, and we write our own music. So yeah.
Okay, Patrick, a little bit of an insight into
for writing. Well, it's just experience. I mean, sometimes inspiration can hit you anywhere. Like Brother Boy said, yeah, it's what we see in our communities, what we live through. I mean, from my personal experience, before I was seriously pursuing hip hop as a passion and a career, I went down a negative road, which it ultimately led me to incarceration. Now, being in one of the statistics in a jail cell, it takes away your whole spirit. Music saved my life, pretty much. It freed me. It was my escape, my way of telling my story, sharing my pain, sharing my passion. And in where I was locked up, every bala in there were going through the same thing. So I wasn't writing just about what I was going through. The next brother boy was going through the same thing. The difference is I took that story and put it into music to share with everybody. I say, hey, this is what we go through in our community, the positives and the negatives. Writing, it just comes through by inspiration, When I come down here with Ballers, I hear the new music, I'm like, oh man, no, I can't let this go. I have to go back and write something to, keep the competition up here. It's like that. I mean, also the storytelling, what we do, it is storytelling. The art is storytelling. Sometimes we write fictional characters in our song, but the fictional character can relate to somebody that we know. So if it's like, for instance, a drug dealer or a violent person, we know people like that, but we tell it in a story where it could come out a happy ending, give hope, or sometimes we write for fun, we also like to do the club joints, make sure people party and have a good time, and that's what music is supposed to be about.
Yeah, so entertainment.
Entertainment, it is.
People need, yes, that's right, and you want to buy your records. I always feel they're almost anthems, I guess, a lot of the time. Well, a number of your songs, particularly the ones that the crowd love. Yeah. Who do you write for?
Really, my community, and for me too. I mean, I write for me, and the fans as well. You got to realize that you're doing it for them as well, and I'm starting to realize this now. I mean, Paddy could probably relate to. Bringing out your first single and then going, oh, I can't believe I did that. That's playing on the radio.
Is there? I would really love to hear.
Okay, before we do, I just like to say something like, when I said we did hip hop as a passion, as music, but what people fail to see now is this art form has created a pathway and a career, the word that you said, for people like us, who didn't have opportunities. I mean, I've been in writing and recording in studios since 99, 98. If you asked me back then, would I be sitting here, speaking about hip hop, would my music take me here? I was like, No, we won't. I mean, we used to just do it at clubs, $50, you know, drinks and beautiful women. That's what it was about. I mean, come on, I'm gonna be honest.
And here we, and there.
Yeah, I mean, and now, you know, to be invited down here, sitting and speaking like this is what it gave us. And like brother said, it also inspires other people, you know, other young people who see us and say, okay, we can actually make a business out of it. We model a structure, you know, we actually get merchandise out there, and we are entrepreneurs, we're businessmen now. You know, we actually get paid for what we love doing, and that is a great joy for me to do that. Just recently, someone sent me a text on Facebook, a young Bala, a 13-year-old up in the Torres Strait, say, Bala Pat, I want to be able to write and rap with you. So we did that, you know, and it kind of makes you think, well, it's much bigger now. Now we brought it out here. We are actually role models, and we're creating a pathway so young ones can follow. And I just want everybody to understand that if we didn't have this, I don't know what else I'd be doing.
And exactly, and thank you. I mean, I know it must be a huge pressure, and also to actually have to talk about your art form rather than just perform it.
I like talking.
Exactly. I know, try and stop them. That's exactly what they do. But and I just want to quickly say, okay, ready? Now, I can hardly, my brain doesn't think that quickly, and you know, enough for you to, and you've said like a whole chapter in a verse, and how do you do it? I just want to know.
Well, it's taking a conversation and just putting it with the beat. That's all it is. I mean, we're talking about points, and we're talking about issues, and we just say, okay, we have structured bars, which is either 12 bars, 16 bars. What can I say in those 16 bars, and how can I say it that's going to get my message to the listener? But they're going to get what we're trying to say, the message in it. And that's how you do it. Structure. It's like when Brother John, they say the poetry, you know, selective words you use, you have to write it down and make sure you put your emotion into it so everybody else can feel that. I call this song Life Is, you know, just to write about how you should appreciate life. So what we're going to do is go verse by verse, and we'll spit something and with passion, with what we like to share with you guys. And yeah, so wait till brother plays the guitar. Some say that life is as life does. Would you take it all away if life was? Life's a gift, not a burden. Believe it's deserving. You gotta find reasons to live and make it worth it. They said my music made bad examples, like I was the reason that the youth scrambled. But how can it be when that was once me? In reality, the truth, they fail, not me. I'm trying to make something out of nothing I got. I found a calling and embedded it in hip-hop. All of a sudden I catapulted my flow shock. Styles accumulate like bearer buns and private stocks. Man, that's hot. My music, I lived it, transposed and gifted, manuscripted, my thoughts concealed. I got the next gen believing success is real. Like street warriors told me, real knows real. I heard that.
The pain fought the feet, the laws, the brother was made to pay the cost. Sometimes I feel him just watching us, looking at the rap from above. In this day and age, I'm feeling the pain, trying to be searching for change. Killing inside of my brain, feels like a razor blade. But who be the realest? Some people are fearless, I can't even see what the big deal is. And blood be spilling, and where do we go? You know the streets are out of control. Young fellas today, you're angry, and it's already go. You feel like breaking them up? Nah, you just let it go. Even affects the people around us. But you already know, fist to fist to the sharpest knives, looking over your shoulder just to survive. When everything is wrong, when you tend to think is right, can we all get along? When roaming at night, there's a negative vibe that always occurs. And the positive side, the people need to learn. We need to appreciate, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We've got a few minutes if anyone would like to ask questions of our wonderful rap artists here.
Well, we did a little show in the Chuka, and we did a workshop there. That's still one of my favourite workshops that I ever did, and that's the special thing, I reckon, with what we do as well as the workshops, hey Paddy, and you know, reaching out to the kids and exactly you know, like you look at Paddy's videos up, and you see that on your videos, you get young fellas around you all the time. You know, that's what you want to see. You know, you're bringing that positiveness, and then you know, it's a journey. It's a journey, and it's because we're learning as well. So they're teaching us, and we're teaching them. So that's, I reckon, is a special thing. And then I still remember Chuka. That was the bomb, man, and I'll never forget that, bro.
Positive thing that came out from a community workshop. I have to agree with bro. It's the one that we did up at I worked with Nick, so he's a hip hop artist as well. He's an artist as well, a writer. They came up with the indigenous hip hop projects up to the Torres Straits, and they brought up dancing, and they had a workshop of raps, and these little kids were so excited. You know, year 6, year 7s, that they got to write and perform their own rap, and you know, we built up the whole week. Wrote little sections for them, recorded it, and they did this choreography. They danced, and at the end of the week, there was at the local stadium, there was a whole community event where everyone was there, right up to the councils, you know, the mayor, everyone was there, and all these little kids got to perform their song, and you should have seen them, and they broke it down. That was probably one of the most memorable experience, I think, and the outcome after that, they continued it on. They're still doing it today, little kids.
Of any schools that have introduced rap as part of their curriculum?
Well, that was a health initiative. Up in the Torres Straits, in English, I think, they have also in Jarragon College up in Queensland, because they asked me to come in there to speak with them, they've introduced rap writing as a part of structure of how you write in English. So they've introduced that. It's just because everybody listens to rap, and they want to see how the message is structured, like you were asking, in those 16 bars. So that's the only 2 I know of. And from the last year they were there, the outcome was a positive result. So, yeah, I encourage it. So introduce it to the curriculum.
I'm a great admirer of your work. I reckon you're bringing through a whole new genre for black arts, and I see the benefits that your work, the workshops, does on community. And I'm managing this comedy initiative at the moment, but I'm wondering what you think about crossing over genres to get young black fellas and sisters actually rapping on stage as a part of a comedy initiative, because, I don't know, it seems like there's new genres coming through in contemporary arts, and it kind of all crosses over and blurs lines. And I'd really like to get some of the young kids and teens and even adults rapping on stage, but in a comedy format. Even if they're beatboxing, I don't care if there's a beatbox next to them, because it just really speaks to that generation, like the next generation of kids. What do you reckon about that?
No, that is a good idea. I think about that a lot, because I always think about, you know, when we perform shows and different things that we're going to bring on shows. I mean, Paddy has 2 mics. One has, you know, one different sound, and the other with reverb, and yeah, it's theatrical, you know. So, and you look at artists like, you know, David Bowie and all those, Michael Jackson and all that, and I always think about that. I always think about having like our culture on stage and having an act, and then you have like, it's a whole act, and but it's about the song or something, you know, and the song comes in, boom, and the rappers come out, you know. So yeah, I reckon, you know, we should be doing that, but because yeah, theatrical music is. Yeah, that's the next step. I mean, that's what I want to do. So.
Yeah, well, there are projects in hip-hop theater. You know, they do that. They act out plays in rap format with beats. And to do that with comedy, I reckon it will go really well. I mean, you know, people get a good laugh out of it and they'll be vibing to it, you know. They bounce and listen to the music. So I reckon that's a good idea.
Firstly, I just want to say, it's so good to see. Because Tjimba said, you know, he's got the possum background, the traditional background, and he's got his father, Selwyn Briggs, who, by the way, is from Coloured Stone. And then they have Torres Straits sitting next to him. I think we should all cherish this moment, because there they are right there. That's the future. Secondly, I want to ask, this one maybe particularly to my nephew, do you think in the long term, we have this amazing record label, as you well know, and you both know, Payback. In the Torres Strait, do you think that Do you in your own mind have plans that there might be a label up there, or is the idea more that everyone goes to Payback and Payback becomes the one national symbol, like Motown was for the Supremes?
Thanks for the question. I'm actually, to clarify that, I'm not a member of Payback. I'm actually my own label, One Blood Hidden Image, and we are a Torres Strait established label. And I work with Payback Records, and now I produce other young artists up there. And we try not, labels are good, but I also like to encourage independent artists. That way they can learn the business themselves, run the whole structure. But as a part of working with Payback, I believe as the whole music in general should be one movement. So that's why I come down and do shows with Payback Records, and when we go up to Brisbane, we do shows in there because we are all trying to strive for that one direction, achieve the same goal. So support collaboration, and plus, it's like I said, it's inspiration when I work with someone else. You get good material out of it, and cross over to working with my grandfather Seaman Dan, King Kadu. I just recorded a track with him, and that's what music, that's what the industry is about.
It's not really a question, just 2 points. When you, Brother Boy over here spoke about doing hip-hop and comedy, I know in Sean Chulbra's first show, he actually incorporated that, which was very, very successful. But I also just wanted to congratulate these young men, and just to let everyone else know, there's a new television show coming out this month and next month called Move It Mob Style. It's the most extraordinary show that'll be screened on ABC3 and NITV, and it features the music of all our young rap artists, hip-hop artists from across the country, and it's quite extraordinary because it's about mixing rhyming hip-hop with dance, incorporating traditional dance, but also it's our Aboriginal Zumba, basically, and it'll keep you really healthy. But I just wanted to congratulate the young men because their music does feature on Move It Mob Style. Thanks for the plug.
Thank you. I guess a plug or two doesn't hurt. But, and how exciting, and we'll make sure we look out for... Move It Mob Style. Can we all repeat that? Move It Mob Style. Got it? All right. Again, please thank our wonderful rap artists.
Thank you.